Welcome back to Holistic Soul Sister. I'm Mandy Rose. I'm a holistic health coach, spiritual mentor, and astrologer. And today we are going to talk all about the new moon in Aquarius. And this is probably going to be the biggest new moon of 2021. So we are going to dive in. First, we're going to talk a little bit about a new moon. Then we're going to talk about what does a new moon in Aquarius specifically mean. And lastly, I'm going to talk about what this new moon in Aquarius for 2021 is going to be bringing us this year in specific. So if you have your 2021 Retrograde Astrology Journal, go ahead and grab it and open up to the page that says New Moon in Aquarius. Again, your journal is in chronological order by the date of the year. So you're just going to go ahead and flip past February, and it will be the first event in the month of February. So if you want to go ahead and read a little bit about that, I discuss why this new moon is so pivotal. And then also I have the new moon ritual in there. So I really hope that you guys participate in that. This new moon will be happening on February 11th at 2:05 Eastern Standard Time. So if you have your retrograde journal, and you will see right here where it says 2:05, you're going to have to go ahead and adjust that. I'm really sorry if you're not in the Eastern time zone. It is a great new moon for manifesting, for new beginnings, for really embracing this Aquarius energy, because like you guys can see on this chart behind me, there are 6 planets in Aquarius at the time of this new moon, and this is huge. So while we start off, we're going to remind everyone what the new moon means. New moons are always for manifesting, for new beginnings, for starting things fresh, for realizing what in our life we could be starting and harnessing that energy. So it's not necessarily a time to act and to do. It's a time for sitting and contemplating, going through things in your life that maybe you want to begin and you've had these ideas. Now with Aquarius specifically, Aquarius is an air sign. All of our air signs have to do with the mind, the intellectualism, the thinking, the thoughts, the communication, how we start new ideas. And every year we have a new moon in Aquarius. Aquarius has to do with thinking outside of the box, coming out of society's norms. So if there's a part of you that seems like unique or doesn't seem to fit in with the way that people do things, maybe you're, vegan and that's really not popular. Maybe you are into holistic medicine and that's not quite popular. Maybe you are into a foreign culture and that hasn't really caught on, like yoga used to be back in the days, or acupuncture back in the days, right? As this age of Aquarius picks up, what is now outside the box will slowly start to become inside the box. So embrace those ideas that you have that you feel like would never catch on. Have you been thinking about something like, I really want to invent this, or I think this would be really cool, but no one seems to care about it? Well, people will start caring about it. And a new moon in Aquarius is the best time to harness like your crazy inventor vibe. I always say, think of like Albert Einstein, where he was so passionate about creating what he wanted to create. And Tesla was so passionate about creating what he wanted to create that he didn't care what other people thought of him. He just focused, and that new idea birthed a change for humanity. This is the time to do that, okay? In February. And what this moon really represents, with Aquarius being the humanitarian, future innovation, it wants to have new ideas. It wants to create things that are outside of the societal norm. Like, this is the perfect time to embrace that energy of you being unique. So really harness that part of you that wants to be unique at this time. And with new moons being all about manifesting and starting new things, do you have that one idea that just sounds really far out, something you've always wanted to build, always wanted to create, always wanted to dream up, but you felt like maybe nobody in society would like it, or it wouldn't go well, or it wouldn't be popular? Now is the time to do it. We have such a new beginning going on right now, and that's why I wore this shirt, because it is time to party. It is time to celebrate. It is time for fresh new beginnings. As you guys will read in the Retrograde Journal, this is a time where we will never look back, because what has happened has no indication of what will happen. This is a shift in society, a shift in humanity, a shift in our consciousness, and we are ready for new ways of doing things, new innovations and new technology. And this new moon is the time that you need to harness that, really launch those ideas that you have. And don't be afraid if they sound weird or they don't sound like popular, because they will become popular. What makes the new moon in Aquarius unique for 2021 is 2 things. One, we're going into the age of Aquarius, and you've heard me talk about that a lot. You've heard other astrologers, and I'm sure you've seen different posts on Instagram and all the social media platforms talking about the age of Aquarius. And do you remember on December 20th when we had the Great Conjunction, when we had Saturn and Jupiter touching, and it was called the Christmas star, and that kicked off the age of Aquarius because these two planets at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So they started right here at 0 degrees, and that was the Christmas star. And that like kind of was the highlight of like this new beginning. And now we are in Aquarius season. So if you haven't caught the Aquarius season video, go ahead and check that out on my channel here, because I talk all about what Aquarius represents. And every single one of us has Aquarius in our chart, just in a different area. So for me, it's in my 4th house of home and family. Do you know what house your Aquarius falls? Because that's really important to understand where this energy is coming from and where you should really focus on your new beginnings. And that's why I love doing birth chart readings for people, because I can help you understand what part of our life is being highlighted. See, with these 6 planets happening right here in Aquarius, where are they happening in your life? If you know which house Aquarius falls, drop it in the comments below, because I just love to see what part of your life is about to shift, change, and be brand new. We have 6 planets in the sign of Aquarius at the time of this new moon, and that has not happened since February 5th of 1962. And if you guys remember what was going on in the early 60s, we were just about to begin a revolution. The 60s were all about the hippie movement and equality and rights for everyone, and drugs and weed and all these like taboo, out of the societal box things started to become popular, started to become normalized. People wanted freedom, women's rights. We wanted everything to be like all about our community and our humanitarianism. We are about to go into that revolution again, and it is so exciting. We already feel it, we already see it. So new moons, like I said at the beginning of the video, are for manifesting new beginnings, for creating new things, for new ideas. It's just a time where we can sit and meditate and contemplate what we really want. With Aquarius being an air sign, we really want to think at this time. This isn't about like doing necessarily, it's about thinking. And sitting in meditation right now will be monumental. If there's a part of your life that you're looking to change, if you're wanting to maybe change the way that you are in your relationship, maybe you want to change your relationship completely, maybe you want to change your home life and where you live, maybe you want to change a hobby or a passion, or you want to find a new hobby, maybe you want to change your career, maybe you want to just change your job, maybe you want to change your friendship circles. You know, there's so many parts of our life that we can realize isn't serving us anymore, and we're ready for an overhaul. Well, this is the time to sit in meditation, especially if you feel like you don't know how to do that change, you don't know where it's going to come from. Maybe you have like a passion to start a business, but you have no idea what that business could be. Sit in meditation at this time. We are supported by all the planets, okay? So we'll kind of dive into this chart right now. Again, this is the chart of the sky. If you guys are really unfamiliar with it yet, I am posting it in all the new and the full moon videos for 2021. So hopefully by the end of the year, this won't be so foreign to you. So these are all the planets that we have in Aquarius right now. So the moon and the sun are at 23 degrees. We have Mercury here at 16 degrees, which he will be retrograde during this new moon, which is very important, and I'm going to discuss that in just a moment. We have Venus here at 14 degrees, Jupiter at 12, and Saturn, the little slowpoke over here, at 6 degrees, okay? So that means the way that we feel, who we are at our core, the way that we communicate, the way that we love and have our passion, our luck, blessing, and abundance, and our structure, foundations, and karma and discipline are all being impacted by this air sign, this air energy of Aquarius, this thinking, this innovation, this new beginning, this thinking outside of the box. All of this is supported by these planets. So when we have 6 planets in one sign, we call it a stellium. Stelliums with 3 planets are very important, but when you have 6, it's even more monumental. This showcases that we have massive energy here in Aquarius, and we have massive change coming, and we have massive new beginnings, because this new moon is supported by all these other planets. There's all this energy going on. Okay, new moon, let's do this. Let's support this. Let's make this happen. Let's blow this up. And anywhere Jupiter is luck, abundance, blessing, and expansion. He will blow up the energy of anything that he's around. So if there were 5 planets and Jupiter was over here, it would still be very like heightened. It would still be very important and something to look at. But with Jupiter being involved, and he just blows up any energy that he's around, it's taking like something that's already big and making it massive. So like I said, this is one of my favorite new moons of the year, and I think it's really important that we harness this energy and really embrace the change in our life. Now, remember, I said Mercury is retrograde right now during this new moon. And what that means is Mercury is the planet of communication, and he wants to communicate. He wants to share his ideas. He wants to bounce ideas off of other people. He wants to think and be analytical. However, when he is retrograde, he wants to go inward. He wants to pull back and say, okay, this is a time where I need to reevaluate, reassess, and replan, restructure, reorganize before I move forward. So even though we have a new moon that's all about new beginnings and this new age of Aquarius, we need to maybe not act right away. We need to take a pause, meditate, and think of the new ideas, research new ideas, re-understand, reevaluate our life. We need to think, okay, what do I want to create? What do I want to change? And what research can I conduct? What can I learn? What new ideas? Maybe I need to think outside of the box, right? Because Aquarius is thinking outside of the box, outside of societal norms. So maybe you have an idea for a business and you're not quite sure what it could be, but you have some ideas. Researching and wondering, okay, what would be new? What would be something that society needs that isn't invented yet? What is something that we need more of that isn't created? You know, maybe in your community, there aren't a lot of businesses that serve children, and you want to find a way to open a business that would serve children in a way that hasn't been done before. Now, that's for all the positive and the exciting, but I do want to talk about these two guys down here, Mars and Uranus, and how they are impacting these planets. So in astrology, we have something called squares. It is a 90-degree angle when two planets are communicating with each other, but in a harsh way. They are just smashing into each other, colliding. It's really aggressive. So we have lots of change coming, but the change is going to feel extremely uncomfortable. This isn't going to just be like oh, I'm so excited and la la la, and then everything's going to be great. No, the change that you're going to go through is huge, and it's going to feel very uncomfortable at first. Although in your soul, you're going to know it's for the best and you're ready for it and you're excited for it because you're excited for the end game. But getting from where we are today at this new moon on February 11th to the end game, months, years, decades down the road, may not always be so comfortable, and it may not be so comfortable in this moment, and here's why. So we have a lot of squares going on right now. So we have Mars, which is the planet of our passion, our desire, aggression, it's action. It's like, I want to get stuff done and I want to do it right now. With Mars, we have a square happening with Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn. So that would be right here, and Saturn. And then we also have squares happening from Uranus, which Uranus is the planet of rebellion. He wants to shake stuff up. He wants to make moves. He doesn't want things to be the norm. He wants to like really shake things up. And Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So Uranus is over here already in play. However, how he's playing the most this time around is by squaring the sun, squaring the moon, squaring Mercury, squaring Venus, and squaring Jupiter. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares going on to this planetary energy in Aquarius. And if squares are uncomfortable, this is hella uncomfortable. You have rebellion wanting to shake things up. You have Mars who just wants to be like aggressive and throw things in the fire and do it all right now. And then you have all these planets that are like, no, including Mercury, who's retrograde, saying, slow down. We need to think. We need to really be clear. We need to sit in meditation. We need to really analyze what we want to make and what we want to create and what change we want to personally bring into the world. Because if we just rush into it and we just do it with passion and we don't look back and we don't really evaluate, we are going to start a domino effect that is going to last for the whole age of Aquarius, for the next decades of our life. And if it doesn't work out, we're going to have to backtrack. And it's really going to be like this domino effect. So we want the domino effect to start really thorough, really like in line with our soul. We really want it to be impactful with this energy, but in a way that's smart and strategic and really beneficial for society. So I cannot highlight that enough, you guys. Aquarius is the humanitarian. Anything that you can create, innovate, begin, plan, do, and manifest that this new moon that is going to better society, is going to better humanity as a whole, is going to bring you lots of luck, blessings, and abundance. That's Jupiter right here. Venus with love, doing it out of love, doing it because you love others. That is going to bring the best outcome for the future of your life. And again, like I said, if you know where this falls in your birth chart, you really can see what area of your life this would be beneficial for you specifically. Don't forget to post your rituals in our Holistic Soul Sister Facebook group. I love when you guys post what you've been up to and how you're using the journal. I also have the crystals in here for those of you who don't have the journal. So I hope this made sense for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me I linked below our Facebook group, the Instagram page. I still have journals for sale. Don't worry if you haven't purchased one yet and we're already into February, or if you're catching this video later, you can always go back and fill out the journal prompts. You can always still learn every single moon and sun season and retrograde. There's so much education that no matter when you purchase it, you can always still be learning from this book. It's part education and part interaction with the journal prompts. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit subscribe because the Pisces season video will be coming up next, and you don't want to miss all the retrogrades that are coming up. We've only had one retrograde, Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, 2 more to go for Mercury, and many more with all the other planets. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will chat with you guys soon.